We're here today, and what we want to talk to you about is Shane seems to have a real good formula that he's using on some of our car purchases lately, and we're going to go over that. I want to remind you we've got a lot of videos coming up that are very detrimental to your success, whether you're a used car dealer or whether you are individual looking for a used car. This seems to be a real good formula to me, and I want to get Shane to tell you about it. He bought a 2011 Subaru Legacy yesterday, and we sold it last night. And I want to get him to tell you why he picked this car up, how he knew that we already had a customer on the car, and so I guess Shane, tell me the main reason this car caught your eye.
So what I've been looking for here lately is I'm a big numbers guy. I love doing the research on. It's not necessarily the car that I specifically start with, but it's what you look at is doing your research on numbers, knowing the values of cars, what you can buy them for, what you think you can sell them for. A lot of times people think that if you're going to buy a $2,000 car at the auction that you've got to buy 2007, 2008s. And what I've found here lately is that right now you can find some more modern cars that are easier to finance and get some really good deals that just are getting kind of overlooked by some other people because they may not be the most popular cars out there. Subarus, this was a 2011, 154,000 miles on it. This is a car that it has a huge book value. So what I was looking for is a car that we could buy at a very low price and either have it to where it would go fast, either selling it as a cash car and making pretty decent profit off of it, but keeping it under our $4,000 budget. Okay, a lot of people that are looking for first-time cars for their kids, whatever they're looking for that cash car, and we have found that they're looking for $3,500 to $4,000, so it doesn't break their pocketbook. But also, if I can find that same car that's worth that as a cash deal, we use a company called Credit Acceptance, and when somebody puts in an application, it's a subprime lender, and we guarantee approval. A lot of times what we can do is find that, and I use that information to actually come back and keep it to where I can find and plug in some VIN numbers and plug in what I've got to buy that car for, and to be able to sell it and pay those financing fees and actually get somebody a really good vehicle at a discounted rate. So those are all the kind of the things that I look for when I'm buying them. I have been trying to stay away from the 2007, 2008s and try to find those 2011, 2012s with 150,000 miles because they seem to be a more popular range for us right now. So,
All right, now you're talking about plugging in. So exactly when you saw the Subaru, what did you plug in as far as
we use an app. I use an app called Black Book, and if you guys are looking to get in the business and doing and going to auctions, things like that, that is an app that you definitely want to get on your phone. It's very easy. You scan the VIN number right there on the auction sticker, and it tells you rough Black Book wholesale value, average wholesale value, and then clean wholesale value. Well, the great thing about the Subaru is what a lot of people don't realize, it's actually one of the #1 rated cars as far as dependability. If you go on NADA or anything like that. So with Credit Acceptance, what they do is that actually gives you a very high value. That car scores very well for you to be able to finance that car because they want to know that the car is going to outlast the actual term of the loan. So, but once you take that, if you can buy that vehicle at rough wholesale value and then turn around and sell it at clean wholesale value, there should be a pretty good profit margin there for you to either sell it as a cash car, keeping your price low, and I guarantee as far as dealers that are out there, you're going to beat their prices every time. But also, like I said, with Credit Acceptance, you're going to be able to score very high and get that person financed with not an astronomical down payment. So that's what I look for.
Okay, now we sold the car last night, and how did we sell the car? I guess one of the things that we do when we are promoting our dealership online is continuously we're pushing for credit apps. And and we store credit apps. And what we do, once we get that credit app, we match it to a car that's going to fit. And so we had this customer already in our database, in our credit app, and the goal was to go match this customer among others in our credit app. So explain how we drive traffic.
So a lot of times we actually do that in several different ways, but even cars that I've had that have been very popular for us, it's very good to leave your ads constantly going. That maybe you had a 2011 Corolla that you sold, but that car continuously drives traffic to your website and gets those applications. Because what we're actually pushing is, like you said, not necessarily that car, but to have people understand that we guarantee approval. Now, like I said, I can't guarantee the down payment on every option, but we do guarantee approval. And so right now we average about 20 to 25 applications on a weekly basis on those coming in. Now, not every one of those applications are going to have $2,500 down, but you get the ones that do score. That you go back and continuously check. Every time I go to the auction, like I said, I go specifically, I've actually just made a workbook for tomorrow's auction that I've got about 10 different cars that I've got a budget, not based on what I think they're worth, based on basically an analytical term of what I can pay for that car.
So the customer we had last night was already in an application. We had her, basically we knew how much of a down payment she could make. We pre-qualified her. We brand the dealership. So one of the things that I'm currently working on, and I want to encourage you to work on, is branding your dealership. And one of the things that I do to brand this dealership is Shane is the face of the dealership. And so basically I'm continuing to brand his face to that logo. And what we're doing is soliciting for, obviously, credit apps. If we've got more and more credit apps coming in here, then we've got a good supply of customers that to match credit apps. And so I want to say out to you that a lot of people want to sell cars. You want your dealer's license to sell cars. But in this day and time, what you're actually doing is building a customer database. Networking is so important, and branding your dealership. Now, if you don't have a dealership, one of the things that we have, of course, is our wholesale program here. And if you are a wholesaler, you don't necessarily need to brand the dealership, but you need to brand yourself. Today, it's not. There's two things that sell cars, and that is the person that they are looking at a car has to be someone that they trust. And that's what I'm trying to do, is build trust in Shane. And then the next thing is the car. But the first thing that you're going to find if you're in this business is whoever's looking for a car and they mentioned that to you, they've indicated some amount of trust in you. So it's very important that you have that trust factor that keeps going on. You continuously get you a loan app somewhere and build your database. And don't, yes, you're going to have to promote a car, but it's more important this day and time to promote yourself and what your brand is. Our brand here is finding cheap cars, being affordable, and having enormous amount of lending capacity by being able to get these cars sometimes with nothing down. We have found out that our market really is twofold. It is the people that are wanting to spend typically $3,000 to $5,000 for a good dependable car, or the people that have probably $500, $600 up to $1,000 to pay down on a car, looking for a car payment under $300. Now that's the market that we're in. You're going to have to determine what market you're in, but the formula is always the same. Have a car that looks good, real good on paper. Anything else to add?
No, and well, yeah, there is one more thing to add. One of the things that we've been focusing on that it's very easy to let yourself get away from in this business. It's everybody loves going to the auction. Everybody loves buying a lot of cars. Floor plans, we have found that you can get yourself, you can get ahead of yourself way too quickly. And when you get away from the formula that actually works, what you want to do in this business is figure out the fastest way you can get a return on your investment. With those applications and getting that started, that is the fastest way that you can make a return on any investment, rather than sitting there with hundreds of thousands of dollars in inventory and looking all fancy, doing all that stuff. Get the applications in, work a database, work your numbers, and make a good return on your investment very quickly.
Now, I want to remind you again, subscribe to this channel. We've got some great videos coming up. Of course, the more experience we get in the car business and daily experience, times are changing, the car business changes. Subscribe to this channel, please. We look forward to seeing you again.